your introduction with your history and your family and let the world know?
Who I am?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, like she said, my name is Kimo. My real name is Traden. It's just Kimo is part of my middle name. So, I am Klamath Indian and Native Hawaiian, as well as Native Japanese. I chose for my particular film to do research on the history of Native music between Native Americans and Native Hawaiians. So, in order to do that, I had to do supposed to do quite a few interviews, but it only came down to about 2, maybe 3, which was unfortunate. Yeah, so I'd be a sophomore this year, if things kind of came up. I chose to do a major in music because it's been a passion of mine since I was a kid. Don't really know when it began. I think I was 5, maybe 6. Just kind of came. I was like, you know what, music is something I want to do. Well, when I was approached by Catherine or Kia here, when she asked me about if I wanted to join the film, I just said no. I did not want to do it. I wanted nothing to do with it. Yet, she kept she kept pushing, kept asking, and eventually I said, yeah, sure, why not? And it turned out to be a great opportunity for me. I learned a lot more than I thought I would. So I definitely have you to thank for that. And it opened a lot of different doors for me, especially when it comes to career paths. So
you're going to have a film produced featuring you here. So I think it's like a resume that you have to offer to the world.
Yeah.
Your film, and then, the introduction to you and who you are and why you were created. The Great Spirit created you with a vision and a dream. And you've discovered music and you're fulfilling that. So I just think that's remarkable. Music was always important to our ancestors. They were ceremony songs, they were honor songs. We had songs for everything in life. And so for you to come forward and want to preserve your people's music and also the Hawaiian, that's very important to the future. Well, tell us how you came up with the idea of creating your film.
Well, it was Professor Kirby, who sent me the link to, telling me, hey, there's this thing that's coming up for a research project. And at the same time, Catherine here was bugging me about doing a film. I'm going, okay, well, which one do I do? Well, Catherine here came up with the idea of, why not mix them? And I said, that would be smart. It would make it easier in its own way. You're just knocking 2 birds with 1 stone. I chose music because at the time I was actually working on a song. So it just kind of said, you know what? I'm Native American, I'm Native Hawaiian. Why not just do something within the history of music? So.
And not only that, but I was talking about how collaborative, how we all had to work together to help each other. He wrote 5 songs for every film that we have for you.
Oh,
there are segments. It started with the one for the Klamath Film Festival.
Mm-hmm.
They were really nervous because I had a very famous 1969 song underneath this, we call it Second Act Turning Point. The really important segment that no words were necessary, but we needed music. And that's why we weren't, a finalist. They wanted me to take that out and put something else. And I said, Kimo, what am I going to do?
And I said, I got you.
It takes up to a year to license a song with Hollywood Studios. Okay, They own everything now.
Yeah.
He wrote the song for it. He knew what the scene was. And then Princess is going, could he do that for mine?
Yeah, so basically all I needed to know was what the theme of their particular film / story was going to be about. And that's what I based the music off of. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
If it was something more serious, you'd have more serious tone. If it was something more upbeat and uplifting, you'd have that kind of tone in your music.
So did you have vocables or did you have full vocals? Did you have drums, flutes?
One of them was mainly drums, and I think that one in particular was for Unease, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There was a couple vocals, but not any actual words. just because I knew that these particular firms were more serious. If it was an actual movie that we were sending to Hollywood itself, with actors and stuff, I might have added words and lyrics.
Uh-huh.
But
But-
when people are
Vocables,
talking,
Yeah, I thought more or less the instrumentals would have been a lot more effective for this type of film.
Mhm. How wonderful.
isn't that
Yeah,
incredible?
he's using his, thought processes to
Yeah.
make decisions, and
was
a lot
tough
of it is
on that.
probably, spirit world's probably talking to you, guiding you through all that.
Oh, yeah.
It's good to trust your own judgment.
Oh, yeah.
Well, congratulations, it's a wonderful journey, you made a great start, overcame a lot of obstacles.
Oh, yeah.
So proud of him. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you so much.
and thank you.
Of course.